A magic vending machine that promises. Put money in and snacks will fall out forever. That's what the internet calls passive income. But in real life, the vending machine jams, the snacks get smaller, and sometimes you still have to kick it to make it work. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Today I'm going to show you the truth about passive income, simple enough for a kid to understand, and how to build freedom without falling for the fantasy. My name is Mike. And I'm not here to crush dreams. I'm here to replace the cartoon version of money with the real version. Because the biggest mistake people make isn't the stock market, it's believing one big number will magically solve their life. Here's the pattern I keep seeing. One person saves a lot, quits, and comes back to work later. Another retires on dividends but spends tons of time managing everything. A third reaches their goal then moves the goal because now they want a bigger lifestyle. Different people, same problem. They believed passive income means no work, forever. So let's build a kid-simple model. Think of your money like a garden. You can eat the seeds, spend your savings. You can eat the fruit, take income. Or you can keep replanting so the garden keeps growing, total return. The goal is not never touch the garden. The goal is never kill the garden. And here's the first truth. In real life, there are only 3 types of passive income. Sell a little income, you sell small pieces of investments. Cash flow income, rent, dividends, royalties. Hybrid income, a mix plus a safety buffer. If someone tells you there's a 4th type, do nothing and money appears, that's usually an ad. Let's start with the famous rule everyone repeats. Just withdraw 4% a year. In plain words, it says, if your money is invested, you might be able to take a small slice each year and not run out for a long time. It became popular because it's easy. Multiply your yearly spending by 25. Spend $40,000 a year? You need about $1 million. But here's the kid-level catch. Rules depend on the game board. If you learned a safe trick in an old video game, and then the developers update the game, your trick may stop working. The 4% rule was built using past history, and history doesn't always repeat the same way. So some researchers today suggest a smaller number might be safer for new retirees, more like 3% to 3.5% depending on conditions. That sounds tiny, but it changes everything. Because a tiny percent change means you need a much bigger pile of money. Here's the simplest math. If you want $40,000 a year, and you use 4%, you need $1 million. If you want $40,000 a year, and you use 3.5%, you need about $1,143,000. That extra $143,000 is not small. That could be years of your life. And here's another truth people miss. The 4% approach is not money appearing. It's you selling a small piece of your investments each year. It can work, but you must accept one scary thing. Your account will go up and down. Now imagine this. You retire, and the market drops 25% in year 1. Your $1 million becomes $750,000 on paper. But you still need groceries. You still need rent. So you're forced to sell while things are down. That's the danger called bad timing risk. So what's the kid simple fix? A rainy day backpack. Keep 13 years of basic expenses in a safer place, cash or short-term bonds. Then if the market falls, you use the backpack first, and you don't panic sell your investments. It's like having snacks in your bag so you don't have to quit the game when the level gets hard. Now let's talk about the dream everyone loves. He'll live off dividends. He'll buy rentals and the rent checks will pay my life. This is called cash flow, and yes, it's real, but it's not as clean as people pretend. Here is the biggest kid-level mistake. Confusing revenue with profit. Revenue is the money that comes in. Profit is what's left after you pay for everything. If a lemonade stand makes $100 but spends $70 on lemons, cups, and sugar, the profit is $30. A lot of passive income posts brag about revenue. Real life cares about profit. Let's use a rental example. Someone says, "My apartment brings in $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 passive income." But then reality shows up. Taxes, insurance, repairs, empty months, replacing a roof, fixing plumbing, paying a manager if you don't want calls. After all that, the real monthly profit might be $600, $900, not $2,000. And sometimes it's negative when a big repair hits. So cash flow is not a magic button. It's more like owning a pet. The pet can be cute and helpful, but it still needs food, vet bills, and attention. If you buy enough pets, properties, you don't retire, you become a full-time caretaker. Dividends have a similar truth. Dividends feel calm because you see cash hit your account. But companies can cut dividends. Markets can fall. High dividend stocks can be traps. If you spend hours every month researching and adjusting, that's not no work. It might be better work, but it's still work. So here's the honest way to think about cash flow. It's a stabilizer, not the whole engine. It's the seatbelt, not the rocket. It can cover your basics so you don't panic during bad years. But expecting it to pay for everything without effort is how people get disappointed. Now we hit the part that changes the whole game. Your spending is more important than your investment returns. Because every extra dollar you spend needs an army of dollars behind it to support it forever. Here's the kid simple version. Imagine your life costs $40,000 a year. If you want your investments to pay that forever, you need a big pile that can safely produce $40,000 every year. When people add small monthly luxuries, they don't realize they are also adding years of work. Let's do a fun example. A $15 per month subscription is $180 a year. If your safe withdrawal rate is around 4%, you'd need about $4,500 invested just to pay for that one subscription forever. That's wild, right? Now imagine a $500 car payment. That's $6,000 a year. That one decision may require around $150,000 invested to support it forever. This is why people hit a goal and still feel trapped. Because the goal was based on old spending. Then spending grows. Then the goal moves. It's like filling a bathtub while someone keeps pulling the drain plug wider. So the real superpower is not find the perfect investment. The superpower is deciding what enough looks like and protecting it. Not forever, not like a monk, just on purpose. Here's a tool I call the enough list. Write 2 columns. Column A. Things that truly make my life better. Column B. Things that mainly impress other people. Your freedom is hidden in how honest you are with that list. Let's say something clearly. In real life, passive income usually means less work, different work, or optional work. Not zero work. Even the safest index fund plan requires patience, discipline, and the ability to not panic. That's work inside your head. So the real goal isn't never do anything. The real goal is control. Control over your time. Control over who you work with. Control over when you say yes or no. That is what financial freedom actually buys. And here's why some people retire and come back 18 months later. They retired from work but not to a life. They didn't build structure. They didn't build purpose. They didn't practice what a normal Tuesday looks like without a boss. So the vacation feeling fades and boredom takes over. Here's a kid-friendly way to say it. A weekend is fun because it ends. If every day is Saturday, Saturday stops feeling special. Humans need missions, projects, learning, helping, creating. Freedom feels best when you have something you actually want to do. So what does a real, non-fantasy plan look like? Here's the Mike version that works for normal people. 3 layers. Layer 1. Growth, simple index funds for long term. Layer 2. Stability, some cash flow or a small bondy cash buffer. Layer 3. Options, skills, part-time work, small projects you can turn on when needed. Why is Layer 3 so powerful? Because it saves you from the worst moment. Selling investments in a crash. If the market drops and you can earn even a small amount, you reduce how much you must withdraw. That flexibility can protect your whole plan. This is why I don't teach retire and do nothing. I teach reach a point where work becomes optional. You can still work, but only on your terms. That's not a prison. That's freedom. Let's talk about the trap that keeps people working extra years. It's the habit of calculating freedom based on your current lifestyle, without questioning it. If your lifestyle is full of expensive defaults, your freedom number becomes huge. Then you say, passive income is impossible. But the real issue is the default lifestyle, not the math. Here's a simple game. Minimum vs. maximum. Minimum spending is what keeps you safe and healthy. Housing, food, basics, medicine, simple fun. Maximum spending is everything you could want. Freedom is built by targeting the minimum first. Because if you can cover the minimum, you can breathe. And once you can breathe, you can choose. So your freedom number should start with your minimum spending, not your fantasy spending. That one shift can cut years off the timeline. If you want the truth in a checklist, here it is. Rule 1. If someone promises no work, it's probably a trap. Rule 2. Don't confuse revenue with profit. Rule 3. Build a buffer before you quit. Rule 4. Protect your enough. Rule 5. Keep options, skills and small income levers. Rule 6. Practice a retirement Tuesday before you retire. Take a week off and live your future schedule. If you're bored, the problem isn't money, it's design. So can you live off passive income? Yes, but not the TikTok version. The real version is an ecosystem. Growth plus stability plus options. And the people who succeed aren't always the ones with the biggest pile of money. They're the ones with the most flexibility and the clearest definition of enough. If you only remember one line, remember this. Passive income doesn't remove problems. It lets you choose which problems you're willing to solve. That choice is freedom. If this helped you see passive income clearly, hit like so more families can find it. Subscribe for honest money lessons that parents can watch with their kids. And comment one word. Growth, cash flow, or hybrid, which style fits your life best right now? Imagine a magic money robot. You build it, press a button, and it drops coins into your hand every day. Sounds like passive income, right? Here's the twist. In real life, most money robots need fuel, repairs, and someone to watch them, and that someone is usually you. Today I'm going to show you the honest version of passive income, simple enough for a kid to understand, so you don't end up trading one job for another job in disguise. My name is Mike. And I'm not here to. I'm here to explain the rules of the game that ads don't mention. Because people are quitting jobs with $1 million saved then quietly coming back. Not because they're weak. Because they believed the wrong story. Here's the big lie. Passive income means you stop working and money appears. The truth. Passive income is not a switch. It's a system. And every system has costs. Time, risk, stress, and surprises. So in this video we'll do 3 things. We'll meet the 3 money machines that exist in real life. We'll expose the trap that makes your goalpost move forever. We'll build a simple freedom plan that works even when the market is scary. Before we start, quick note. This is education, not personal financial advice. Different families have different situations. But the core logic we're talking about today, it applies to almost everyone. Let's use a kid-simple metaphor. Imagine you want candy every month. You have 3 ways to get it. A. Sell a tiny piece of your toy collection each month. B. Own something that pays you candy every month, like a candy tree. C. Do a mix. Keep the toy collection growing, but also have a small candy tree for safety. That's basically the 3 versions of passive income. This is the classic stock index plan. You build a big basket of investments. Then each year you take a small slice to pay your bills. It can work beautifully, but it has one scary moment. When the market drops. Here's the kid version. Your cookie jar has 100 cookies. If you eat 4 cookies a year, you're fine if the jar refills fast enough. But what if a dog knocks the jar over and you suddenly have only 70 cookies left? Eating 4 cookies now hurts more. That's the real risk. People call this the 4% rule. It's a helpful starting point. But it's not magic. Because the world changes. Inflation changes, interest rates change, stock returns change. So the safe number can move. This is the dream everyone sells. It'll live on dividends or it'll live on rent. It feels safer because you don't want to sell your investments when prices are down. But here's the rule. Money coming in is not the same as money you keep. Kid example. You open a lemonade stand and make $100. Sounds great. But you spent $40 on lemons and cups. So your real profit is $60. Rental income works the same way. Repairs, taxes, insurance, empty months, and surprises eat the gross number. So many people retire into rentals and then discover they bought themselves a new job. Tenant messages, broken appliances, contractors, paperwork, stress. That can still be worth it, but call it what it is. Semi-passive, not magic. The most realistic plan for most people is a hybrid. Growth investments for the long run plus some stability tools for bad years. It's like wearing a seatbelt. The seatbelt doesn't make you drive slower. It just saves you when something goes wrong. Now let's talk about the pattern we see again and again. Mike reaches his number and then decides he needs a bigger number. Why? Because lifestyle creep is sneaky. Here's the kid version. You tell yourself, if I get 10 toys, I'll be happy. You get 10 toys and suddenly you want the deluxe set and a new shelf and a bigger room. The happiness line moves. Money works the same way. First you want freedom. Then you want freedom plus nicer car. Then freedom plus travel. Then freedom plus boat. And the finish line keeps moving. Here's the brutal math that almost nobody does. Every $1 you spend each year needs a big pile of money behind it to support it forever. So when you add a small monthly subscription, you're not just buying a service. You're buying a permanent obligation. Kid analogy. It's like adopting a pet. The pet isn't just cute today. It needs food every month. Some expenses are pets. They need feeding forever. So the secret to financial freedom isn't just earn more. It's protect your enough. Decide what enough looks like and defend it. Here's the scary thing. Even a perfect plan can fail if the first years go badly. This is called bad timing risk. In grown-up words, sequence of returns risk. Kid story. You have a snowball. If you roll it down the hill, it grows. But if someone kicks it at the very start, it becomes tiny again. Starting conditions matter. In retirement, the kick is a market crash early on, while you're withdrawing money. Because you're forced to take pieces out when prices are low. That's like selling toys during a garage sale when everyone is paying the least. So what's the simple safety move? A cash buffer. Money set aside for 1,236 months of basic living. So if the market drops, you live on the buffer and don't panic sell your investments. This is not losing returns. It's buying sleep. And sleep is worth a lot when the headlines are screaming. Now let's talk about the part nobody puts in the ads. Your brain. Some people retire and realize they didn't build a life, they only built an escape plan. Kid example. Imagine school ends forever tomorrow. For the first week, amazing. For the second week, fun. For the third week, you start asking, what do I do all day? Humans need missions. Real freedom is not doing nothing. Real freedom is choosing what you do. That's why the happiest financially free people still work, just on their terms. So ask yourself, are you retiring from something or to something? If you don't have hobbies, community, projects, and purpose, money won't fix that. Let's build a 20-minute video-friendly blueprint. I call it the 3-layer shield. Layer 1. Basics. Layer 2. Buffer. Layer 3. Growth. First, calculate your minimum life cost. Not your dream lifestyle. Not your Instagram lifestyle. Just the number that keeps you safe. Housing, food, utilities, insurance, basic transport. Kid version. What does it cost to keep the lights on and the fridge full? That's your baseline. Second, build a buffer. Start with 1 month. Then 3 months. Then 6. You don't build a fortress in a day. You lay bricks. This buffer protects you from the worst retirement mistake: selling investments during a crash. Third, build growth assets. Diversified index investing for most people. Not because it's exciting, because it's reliable over long periods. And if you want cash flow, dividends, rentals, small digital products, treat them as a stabilizer, not a fantasy. If your portfolio dropped 30% next year, could you stay calm? If the answer is no, you need a bigger buffer or flexible spending. If all your plan depends on renters always paying, or one dividend never being cut, that's fragile. A strong plan has backups. If you can describe your weekly life after retirement without spending lots of money, you're not ready. Build the life first. Then fund it. Most people think the goal is never work again. A better goal is never be trapped again. Passive income is not about becoming a statue on a beach. It's about becoming a person with options. Work less, work differently, say no, move cities, take care of family, sleep at night. And here's the honest punchline. The richest looking people are not always the safest. The safest people are the most flexible. Let's recap in kid simple language. Passive income is a machine, not magic. Machines need maintenance. Your spending is the steering wheel. If spending grows, freedom runs away. Bad timing can break a plan, so build a buffer. The best goal is not no work. The best goal is no trap. If you want, I can turn this into a downloadable checklist. Your minimum number, buffer size, and a hybrid plan layout you can follow step by step. If this video made passive income finally make sense, hit like so more families can find it. Subscribe for honest money lessons that parents can watch with their kids. And comment one word. Total, cash flow, or hybrid, which system do you want to build first?